why that excites me is that the blockchain is obvious. And I'll tell you why it's obvious. If I said to you, do you want to invest in that medical building in Bondi Beach? Even if it was $1,000, if you're honest with yourself, the number one reason you wouldn't do it is trust.
Right.
You'd be, well, how do I trust you? How do I trust the platform? Do I know the building even exists? How do I know I'm going to get a return? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And blockchain actually solves that problem. And then secondly, if I want to get it to $1 per person per investor, even $10, the current fiat system just has too many blockages. It's impossible. It'll never happen. It can only happen using the likes of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And again, will it happen tomorrow morning? No. Is it going to happen in certainly in our lifetime? Definitely. It's probably in the next decade, I would believe. And that's what gets me out of bed in the morning, because that's what excites me. And again, that's why I say to you, I learned something from Ray Kurzweil. I don't know if you know Ray Kurzweil, sort of the father of AI and everything else. He learned something which I'd recommend that everyone goes and looks this up. And a great example is if you use Siri. He said, well, the best way to predict the future is to look for long-term trends that are intersecting and then build solutions for those intersecting trends. And I believe there's a lot of intersecting trends, both on the technology side and the social, and we can go into those details if you want. But the relevance being is that we need to build solutions for where that's going. And I'm talking sort of 2022 to 2025 in terms of the big picture. And why this gets so exciting is that real estate is this old archaic industry that no one has access to, pretty much. And technology is this new exciting industry that everyone has access to now. Everyone's getting smartphones. And when you marry the two together, I think we can solve some of the greatest challenges on the planet and really materially change people's lives.
Well, what you're speaking to, and I'm sure you're aware, there's a great interest in, I guess I'd say, unleashing assets, property assets in Africa, for example, that there's no title, governments are not really governed very well, there's no systems, and blockchain can solve that and bring these assets to the market and start to make something valuable that was not valuable before because ownership was an issue to discern. And you're talking about securitizing a token as compared to, like you're saying, some like Bitcoin, as you said, it's just basically an agreement where people put their own psychological value on it, as compared to saying there's an asset that backs the coin that can go up or down in value, and now you have a sort of gold standard for the currency. So your, I guess, premise, or where you're moving toward, is saying you want to create a blockchain and a securitized token that can take these assets that you're working with, and anybody then can get in at lower levels as compared to working with traditional currencies right now.
That's exactly it, yeah. And that's why we call the coin wealthy, wealth with an E, electronic.
I like it.
And ultimately, I've said this already, 49% of the world's wealth is held in real estate. There's a reason being, it's not volatile. It has been the store of wealth long before gold and long after gold will ever be. And I think what's really interesting is that now everyone's going to be able to participate in that. And that really excites me. And the way that you've described it, honestly, I think that people sometimes get too caught up in all the acronyms, and it all sounds too complicated.
Right.
And really all that we're doing is bringing technology to real estate.
Right.
All the fancy terms and blockchain and crypto and securitization and tokens, 100% agree with you, you're 100% right. But in simple terms, for the men and women watching this show, it's really just technology coming to the real estate industry. And whenever technology comes to any industry, it does three things. It cuts out the middleman, it cuts the costs, and it increases the trust, the transparency, and the accessibility. And if you take the Uber I just caught here, it's cut the costs, it's cut out the middleman, and it's increased the trust, the transparency, and the accessibility. And that's what I believe is going to happen. How it's going to happen, actually is irrelevant. I caught that taxi today. I don't even know how Uber works. I don't know how their algorithms work. All I know is it got me from my hotel to this venue, safely and easily and everything. And I think that technology is going to give the same service to people to be able to participate in an industry that has traditionally been very difficult to get into.
You have a forecast of time? Like, how long do you think before you'll start to actually get traction on the technology side being integrated into what you're doing?
Sure, look, so I mean, our platform's obviously live and people can participate using the fiat model right now. In terms of where it goes around security tokens and everything you've spoken of, that's a harder one to predict. So in this period, so we're in Q1 2019, there's literally security exchanges going live right now in America. So the SEC and the other regulators have just got to the point where it's like brand new, like it's just literally happening right now. And there's still a whole lot of people that are arguing that it's still too watered down and it's not exactly where it needs to be and everything else. And quite frankly, I don't have an opinion on that yet.